Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another Vanguard Zombies video. And this is definitely going to contain spoilers from Cold War Forsaken, just in case if you haven't played that map yet, or any of the maps in Cold War, or seen the cutscene yet for the end of the Forsaken. If you complete the Easter egg, you get a cutscene, and then you actually get a cutscene at the beginning of the Easter egg also for Forsaken. So before you keep watching, or you don't want to get spoiled, maybe you want to wait for Vanguard, maybe you want to wait for Call of Duty and Sledgehammer and Treyarch to reveal everything themselves, kind of like a movie. Maybe think about it like maybe a Netflix or a Marvel Disney Plus series, that some people want to see the episode as they happen. They don't want to know any information that's coming down the road. So this could potentially be what Treyarch is leading up to, which would be like a really great, brilliant idea. And I tell people, if it ends up being a solve, the way you solve stuff, if you have to think so clever and so smart, like how Treyarch does Easter eggs and makes the story. Uh, or it could be something again that I would really want. It would kind of bridge the gap in between people that are a little bit iffy, not sure if they want to invest their time or money into Vanguard. That this might potentially kind of have them a little bit, dip their toes into Vanguard, or kind of check it out, maybe get a little bit more emotionally invested into it. Because the thing is, some people latch on to the current game or the previous games, and they're scared to move on to the new ones and stuff like that. So again, this could potentially be spoilers for what they're thinking about doing, or it could be a great idea. Hopefully, it's something that they should do. So either way that you look at it, and we'll never know if this is what was planned or not, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to kind of recap where we're at this point. Again, we got the the Vanguard Zombies reveal trailer a couple days ago, and it's going to be a prequel to Cold War Dark Aether Zombies storyline. We're going to see what the Dark Aether looked like before, or maybe at the point where Zykov entered the Dark Aether, because at this point, I'm hoping that doesn't show up on screen. There's something that showed up on the screen just now. But up until this point, we just know that Zykov was in the Dark Aether for 40 human years and 4 Dark Aether centuries, which I believe is 400 human years, because every century is 100 years. So either 40 human years or 400 human years. Zykov was in the Dark Aether. So we're seeing what it looked like 40 years ago in the 1940s during World War II, where it looks like, I'm going to just say the Germans wanted to use the Dark Aether to win the war against the Allies, which is pretty much Europe and America. Again, that's just kind of a recap where we're at this point, and we're kind of seeing maybe some of the old maps. I don't know if it's it doesn't look like the Dark Aether version of the maps. It looks like kind of maybe just the regular version, or you kind of, there's gonna be a teleport or something like that that turns it into Dark Aether version. But that stuff I'm not going to touch on the gameplay or anything like that. This is more the story or what they're leading up to. Again, we're starting in 1940s. We're seeing that the Germans are using demonology stuff and kind of like occult dark magic stuff to kind of win the war. We've seen it in other movies before. Again, that's just kind of summing up where we're at this point. And the first map, or the first couple of maps, I guess, is going to be like a mode that you kind of jump in between different maps. Again, that's really doesn't pertain to what I'm getting at. So again, that was leading up to or before Zykov entered the Dark Aether, and the intro cutscene for Cold War showed literally Zykov trying to go into the cyclotron, a die machine, Nacht, Untoten, and repair it, or maybe even go into the Dark Aether. I'm assuming that they wanted him to repair it or fix it, or maybe he was going to go into the Dark Aether to maybe. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I think he was just going to fix it. So that was the Die Machine 1980s version. Actually, no, that was the World War II version. But then he ends up getting stuck in there for 40 years. And then he comes out at the end or the beginning of the Easter egg in Forsaken. So he was in there for 400 Dark Aether years or 40 human years. And he ends up getting powerful, ends up killing a lot of people and surviving inside the Dark Aether. And then he basically transformed into the Forsaken, getting so powerful over the 40 years. So that's kind of where we're at now. Vanguard's going to be the prequel leading up to Cold War Die Machine, and then Forsaken is the future, basically, of him getting out of the Dark Aether. He is transformed, and the Aether has transformed his body into this big monster that Samantha ends up killing, and we end up killing. So with all that being said, so that's kind of a long version of where we're at right now. So my idea, or I wonder if it's the idea that Treyarch is going towards, is if we get a Nacht, Untoten, maybe survival, or a cutscene, or an intro cutscene, or a end cutscene. What if all this time after 40 years, it ends up being the Nacht, Untoten intro cutscene, that Zykov is the one that's waking up, and this is the beginning of him trying to survive in the Dark Aether. Like, how brilliant would that be? And I wonder, again, like, when you solve this stuff, if that's what Treyarch has planning, is we get like a Nacht, Untoten survival somewhere in Vanguard. And I'm going to play that again. I actually didn't mean the volume to be on, but I'm going to play it again. So, again, Zykov goes into the cyclotron. He gets maybe passed out or knocked out. He's waking up. And for the last 12 years, since 2009, we all kind of thought this person got killed by zombies, but what if he doesn't get killed? What if that all this time that was Zykov that is waking up after going through the cyclotron? Maybe he was waking up on the Dark Aether. I'm going to play it one more time. So how brilliant would that be? Like, we see Zykov waking up in the Dark Aether, maybe paralleling, maybe the Dark Aether version. And ever since like 2008, we might have thought that, including myself, and that's what Craig Houston said, Treyarch loves putting, okay, leave it, let me play it again, but Treyarch likes pulling the rug from under us. So how brilliant would it be if, for the last 12 years, since 2008, or 13 years, that all this time we thought the soldier got killed and he got transformed into a zombie? Or what if that's not a zombie running towards us? What if that's Zykov running towards us? You know, or something like that. That would be kind of a cool little plot twist, or a little curveball, or maybe just some closure, an explanation that either Zykov wakes up in the Dark Aether, and all this time we thought that this guy got killed by the zombies, or it could be another scenario. Could be like, what if that's not a zombie that's running towards us, that all this time we thought it was a zombie? What if it's actually a human that's running towards us, and it could be Zykov looking for help? Or maybe Zykov's been running in the Dark Aether for the last like 13 years, or 40 years, or 400 years, however you want to look at it. That all this time we thought that that was a zombie running towards us, but what if that was Zykov running in the Dark Aether away from the zombies looking for help? Because, I mean, personally, I thought so all this years, I mean, I'm going to tell you my point of view. All these years, I thought that was a zombie. You're waking up, and the zombie's coming towards you to eat you. But what if all these years it was either Zykov running away, one of the soldiers running away from the zombies, because why would the zombie be a lot faster than the other ones? Or on the other flip hand, we could be us waking up as Zykov and the zombies running towards us, and it shows that you know, how Zykov survived in the dark ether all these years, maybe by killing the zombies, maybe because that's how I look at it. I know it could be subjective at this point, where I think ever since playing it in World at War years ago and Black Ops 1, my interpretation of it is um, your plane crashes in Nacht, Untoten in the airfield, and you're waking up passed out after being knocked out, falling out of the airplane, and you wake up to zombies everywhere and the zombies running towards you. That's my interpretation of it, because I know it can kind of be subjective at this point, the way that you look at it. Like, what if all these years it hasn't been a zombie running towards you, about to eat you or kill you? It's either been Zykov running towards you, or you waking up as Zykov, and the zombie is running towards you, and it shows how Zykov might have survived in the dark ether. I think that would be a brilliant idea. Hopefully, maybe it's the way that they're going towards it. I know it's kind of late to do that for the release of the game, unless it's something that they have planned for the release of the game. Or it could be maybe like the DLC 1, we finally get like a Nacht, Untoten survival, maybe to satisfy the people that really want a survival. Um, um, we want a survival map for, Vanguard, maybe DLC 1, or DLC 2 or DLC 3, whatever, or just give you a cutscene for Season 1 of Vanguard. Maybe if you don't want to put it in the Easter egg, maybe you can put it as a cutscene, intro cutscene, um, or you could have them complete like a small little Easter egg and get the cutscene, or something like that. Anyways, that's my thoughts about it. It made me actually start thinking, like, wait, all these years, was that even like a zombie running towards you? What if it's like just a human that's really scared, Zykov scared in the dark ether, or you're waking up as Zykov, um, you're working with Zykov in the dark ether, and this is how you survive the dark ether. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll see you guys later.